everyone, welcome to Hunters Connect. Today we're going to cover sharpening part 2. In our first sharpening video, we talked about how to set an edge and get your broadheads sharp when they're right out of the package. Today we're going to cover part 2, which is using a strop to put a finishing, polishing edge on the edge of your broadhead. So now that we've got the edge set, we're going to use a leather strop. You may have seen this like in a barber shop or in a movie, but basically it's just leather and a little bit of compound that you put into the leather, and that can take some time to get your strop conditioned and ready to go. I've been using this strop for a while, but if it's a new strop, you may just want to kind of reapply that compound until it's fully conditioned. But for now, we've got a conditioned strop. I'm using the green compound, which is like a very fine grit that'll get worked into that leather. That'll help you sharpen that edge. So we've got the finest compound on there, and what you're going to do is take the edge of that broadhead, which is very, very sharp, so be careful. But this is a single bevel broadhead. You're going to find where that edge sits flush on the strop, and with very light pressure, just guide that broadhead along the strop. The nice thing about stropping is that it's such a fine grit on that leather is you're not going to be taking off huge amounts of material. When you're sharpening, you're actually removing material from the edge of that blade. So with a strop, you're not moving a large amount, which just allows you to work patiently through it and kind of helps you to learn the angle and the pressure and the cadence you need to get these broadheads finishing sharp. You might see on my strop there's a little gouge taken out of the leather, and that's just part of the learning process. It's not going to be perfect off the bat, but as you do it and you learn this skill, it'll really pay dividends in the field. So once again, you're just going to lean that edge flush with the leather and just guide that along. And you want to do it evenly to both sides of the blade. So that's 3, 4, 5. Before I do the other side, we're going to just check the difference between the two edges. So this side is the side that I sharpened but did not strop. And that's pretty sharp. That didn't really catch. But then we're going to go to that strop side. And you can just see how quickly both of those blades are extremely, extremely sharp. But that strop side didn't have quite the same resistance that the other side did. And you can see where that paper kind of curled up. That's where that blade had to push a little bit extra. When you get those broadheads super shaving sharp, they're going to go through effortlessly, which is going to give you better penetration, cause more damage with your arrow, and hopefully kill your animals quicker. You can also do this with a straight edge 3 or 4 blade broadhead, and it's the same process, but what's nice about those broadheads is you don't have to find the bevel. You rest that broadhead on the 2 blades that are touching the strop, and just with light to medium pressure, run those broadheads across that leather. And that'll, if you do it evenly on each side, rotate that broadhead across all the blades, and you're good to go. Okay, so now that we tested those 2 sides, now I'm going to strop the other side and see if it improves the sharpness. Once again, just finding that bevel, applying a little bit of pressure, and just, you don't have to push super hard. The idea is not to take a bunch of material off, but just to help align the edge of that broadhead. If you were looking at the edge of your cutting surface under a microscope, you'd see all these microscopic little, they almost look like fibers, and that's just that metal material that's kind of frayed up from that sharpening process. And the idea is that when that broadhead passes through, those little gaps will actually fill with blood and fat and all the other stuff that the arrow hits as it goes through a deer or whatever you're hunting. So when you're stropping, you're kind of working to take that little bit of that material and that burr off, and just keeping that as one continuous cutting surface. 2, 3, 4, 5. and those are super sharp. They're not getting any give. They're going right through. These broadheads are ready to hunt. Hopefully you found this tip helpful. I hope you have success in the field. Be sure to subscribe, like the video. If you have any questions or comments on how you sharpen broadheads, leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching Hunters Connect.